Hello, my name is Rivasya as ICJ judge.
Hi, I'm Swanasti Djatu as ICJ judge.
Hello, my name is Hagi Nur Khanif as judge.
Hello everyone, my name is Penyelesaian as judges.
Hello, I'm Pramaseta Widiawardana.
Hello, my name is Panca as delegate from Australia.
Hello, my name is Melati and I'm delegate of Australia.
Hello, I'm Adelya as a delegate from Australia.
Hello, my name is Bimo Rizky di Laksana. I am a delegate from Indonesia.
My name is Restu as delegate from Indonesia. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Agung as a delegate from Indonesia.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, in this courtroom, we will talk about the Ashmore Reef and Cartier Island. As an archipelagic country, maritime border dispute is no longer become a strange issue for Indonesia to face. Mostly, the sea border of Indonesia and island within it is not in the safe condition to control, whether from the security and criminal action. The maritime border, moreover, the outer island of Indonesia has a strategic meaning in the context of national integrity, which most of the land of Indonesia, which has the base point in it, because the base point is become important part in order to count the line of sea border as the part of integrated area.
The lake is maritime border along with some countries in the region of Indonesia is obviously also have some maritime border with Australia as one of Indonesian neighbor in the Pacific area. It is counted that Indonesia and Australia share a common maritime border in the area of Indian Ocean between Christmas Island and the island of Java. The boundary of maritime this part of Indonesia and Australia has three separate segments. The first is between in the Australia, Indonesia, and Papua and New Guinea. The second segment runs westward from the point where the territorial waters of the two countries touch the western limit of East Timor territorial water claim in Indian Ocean, and the third is between the Australia external territory of Christmas Island and the Indonesia island of Java in Indian Ocean.
Among those three segments, one of the conflictual one is a location in the western segment. Even when 1972, there are some treaty the border to point A25 to the northeast of what is declared as Australian Ashmore Reef and Cartier Island. The territory is located in the Indian Ocean, situated on the edge of the continental shelf, about 320 kilometers off the northwest coast of Australia and 144 kilometers south of Indonesian island of Rute. There are some different perspectives before Indonesian and Australian on this matter. If it is linked back into the colonial history, the Ashmore Reef was included under the territory of British colony, and it was handed in toward Australia after the colonialism era ended. But from some actors of Timor people argued that the island was belonged to the ancestor of Timor Barat. This even made the historical bias among the claim.
In the early of 2003, there are also some highlighted events in the Ashmore Reef which successfully make both countries have to tighten their seatbelt in order to prevent any further conflict because the dispute. In 2003, Australia decided to launch a policy or agreement to do some profit sharing based on the nature resource contained in Timor with Timor or even close any kind of activities of fishing by the Indonesian fishermen with Ashmore Reef start from July 2003. This one-sided action that has been taken by Australia got a critical comment from Indonesia's government because they argued Australia has to do bilateral talk between the countries, considering the island that time also under Indonesia's management.
The fault line of Australia claim on this island is moreover has been proven by the fact of what it is called as GEE, also in Indonesian known as Zona Ekonomi Eksklusif, wherein every 200 miles of the maritime line, the location of Ashmore Reef is in the area of 60 miles from Rote Island, the region of Rotendao, Nusa Tenggara Timur. This is crucial issue for Indonesia because the maritime borderline is strategic, also a sensitive issue. Besides, it is also related to the sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction. This element of maritime border of each country in this world has been controlled by United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, 1982, which seemingly based on this case of the agreement among Indonesia and Australia has to be re-explained by United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Moreover, by the first number 51, where basically every nation have to respect and acknowledge the rights of the traditional law of one country, which has been a long run. First of all, let me hear a statement from Australia.
Thank you just for the opening. So we are from Australia. I will present the initial statement. First, the fact is when it's clearly count that the distance between Ashmore Reef and Rhode Island, Nusa Tenggara Timur, just around 80 mil, and the distance between the island with North Queensland, Australia, is approximately 400 mil. Even three water resorts on the island, this can be said belong to the sailor Amarohi, the sailorman who is come from Sabu Island. This factor can be one of the reasons why nowadays Indonesian fishermen still without any hesitate still do some maritime activity on the related island. Their sense of belong to the past still attached among these fishermen and claim this island was once conquered and managed by their ancestors.
Thank you for the chance. I will continue the statement. Inhabited Ashmore Reef and its natural resources potentials based on the Natural Heritage Trust by the Australian government, Ashmore Reef contains two extensively gone, several channeled carbonate and flat shifting sandcays and acetive reef flat and three vegetated islands in the east, middle, and west island. On the reef fronts of the reservoirs are punctuated with pure and grove formations and have a high diversity of robust coral, and also the crest and algae dominate with the reef flats striated with a line of coral rubble. On the biological diversity case, the Ashmore Reef support distinct assemblages of benthic habitat and pelagic communities. These rivers also support the greatest number of the reef-building coral species of any reef are on the western Australia coast. There are also particularly high numbers of mollusks and fish species in the rivers, and the region has particular global significance in terms of seismic diversity and density. These rivers also support a high population of seabirds, many of which are migratory and typically have their breeding sites on a small isolated island. The Ashmore Islands are regarded as supporting some of the most important seabird rockies on the northwest shelf, and a survey by the Museum of Western of Australia in 1997 broke the total number of the regular fish species in Ashmore Reef to 907 species, which indicate that Ashmore Reef has the most diverse marine fish fauna in any region in Western Australia.
Thank you, Melati and Panca. I will provide an additional statement. Illegal fishing is the most crucial issue on Ashmore Island that has been tried to settle by Indonesia and Australian government. Even on last April 2018, the Maritime Border Command, or MBC, a multi-agency task force within the Australian Border Force, or ABF, have apprehended two Indonesian fishing vessels in the Timor Sea, and it is approximately 100 nautical miles east of the Ashmore Island. And the officer border, there are two vessels where they found 13 crews, 100 kilograms of fresh fish, and 50 kilograms of partially frozen fresh fish. The commander of MBC, Rear Admiral Peter Lever, said the whole of government approach to detecting and deterring illegal foreign fishing is proving extremely effective. So this event can be causing damage our both Indonesian and Australian bilateral relationship. Besides this, also can make Indonesia as the threat from the north for Australia. Okay, so I think that's enough from Australia.
Okay, thank you Australia for your statement. Now we will hear Indonesian statement.
Okay, thank you. Like its sea borders along with some countries in the region, Indonesia is obviously also have some sea border with Australia as one of Indonesia's neighbor in the Pacific area. It is counted that Indonesia and Australia share a common maritime border in the area of Indian Ocean between Christmas Islands and the islands of Java.
Ashmore Reef is situated at 12 degree 20 is 123 degree east and reaches some 450 nautical miles west of Darwin, 330 nautical miles north of the Bloom, and 16 nautical miles south of the Indonesian island of Rote. Ashmore Reef encloses an area approximately 583 square kilometers. Historically, 700 years ago, the fishermen from Rote, Sabu, Alor, Flores, Bugis, Buton, and Madura has expanded their exploration into this island. Even there are 16 coconut trees, water research, and so many other things which can be quoted as the proof of the activity by Rote and Djau fishermen can be found on this island. Thank you.
Thank you, Restu and Bimo. I will provide an additional statement. Indonesia fishermen since 1750 under the Dutch colony has collected some maritime potential such as tripang and fishes the ship from Makassar, Sulawesi Selatan, which entered the Timor area with the permission of of, of the governor of Hindia Belanda in Batavia, now Jakarta, can enter this area without any doubt, and in 1800, when the British colony claimed Ashmore Island, that at the time Indonesia still under the colony of Dutch, and finally that the time the Ashmore Reef has been claimed by British colony in 1878. I think that's enough from Indonesia.
Thank you to the both country for the statement. Now I will read the conclusion of this case. In conclusion, maritime border is something which become one of the crucial issue from Indonesia as an archipelagic country. And it is an obvious that Indonesia will always keep their area, both maritime and land, as the sovereign country. But similarly, in the struggle of keeping the territory of their land, Indonesia have to face some way or even long way of negotiation of even some agreement with the related dispute area below. This can be viewed as well in the case of Ashmore Island. In the process of dealing regarding on this dispute issue, the government of Indonesia and Australia has facing some agreement such as MOU Box 1974 and Port Agreement 1997 as one of our rich maritime components area. Then it is not a nonsense thing when both Indonesia and Australia is doing their hard to win the claim of this reef. in the regard of their national interest as a sovereign country. As the country which both has been ratified in the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, 1982, Indonesia and Australia is doing a based on law process in order to tackle this issue. It is now also clearly proven that the Ashmore Island is belong to the Australian government and be the important part of the maritime area in the Western Australia.
Okay, we have heard the statement from both countries. Now I will close this trial. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.